Welcome in, everybody. Holy cow, we have made it to the end of November, and November has been nothing short of some deep transformational shadow work. There's been like this shadow excavation, and I do feel this weekend is marking a turning point for the Divine Feminine Collective. So we started Mercury retrograde back on November the 9th in the sign of Sagittarius, and we complete this retrograde, this Mercury retrograde in Scorpio today, at 20 degrees 42. And so we went into the last 3 weeks deep into this excavation of this emotional truth telling. And now we're coming out of it with more clarity, ready to make a judgment about our worth, our values, relationships as a whole. And I do feel we are getting ready to step into a brand new timeline. If you are new to the channel, hi, my name is Laura. Hit that subscribe button down below and you can follow along with all of these twin flame updates. We are going to break down the astrological transits taking place this weekend. We are going to dig deeper in with some oracle and some tarot messages. And so today on Saturday, we do have Mercury stationing direct. We also have Venus in an opposition to Uranus retrograde at 29 degrees 05. And so we're shifting beliefs. We're having that clarity. We're having that emotional truth. And we are getting ready to kind of align to a new timeline, new connections that are in alignment with our authentic path. And so I just feel the feminine is reaching this point of absolute clarity, knowing who we are, what we deserve, what we are no longer going to accept, and who holds that genuine resonance connected to our soul frequency, okay? And so we're kind of breaking open the stagnation we've been sitting in. We had Saturn go direct a couple of days ago, and so it does feel like we've got this green light go, but we still have Neptune retrograde, and it will be going direct in December next month, okay? And so I just feel there's going to be a lot of intuitive revelations, and there is going to be unexpected shifts in relationships this weekend, right? Because we are ending an entire karmic cycle around self-worth, our value in relationships. The opposition to Uranus between Venus and Uranus at that Anaretic degree, it hits hard, especially when it comes to money and energetic exchanges. And I feel releasing anybody that is just not emotionally available. And so there's releasing the pattern, I want to say, of settling. Right? We know our worth now. And so for many in the collective, I want to say like this feels like a feminine awakening moment. There's going to be that sudden recognition of my worth, right? This is my self-worth. This can lead to unexpected endings or maybe just a breakthrough if you are single, divine feminine. But this is definitely a timeline shift in love and in releasing all of the old karmic attachments. There's a new sense, I want to say, of emotional sovereignty for the divine feminine. And it's like this, I'm done with that old version of myself. There's been a lot of deep diving into subconscious patterns for myself because this retrograde took place in my 9th house of Scorpio. And so I just feel like on Sunday, we're going to have Venus in a trine to Neptune retrograde at that 29th degree. And then Venus is going to be moving into Sagittarius. This is the feminine stepping into her fire. This is the feminine really taking those action steps towards becoming that Queen of Wands, the embodiment of the Queen of Wands, of the visionary leader, shining the light, the higher spiritual love completion is what it feels like. And so we're stepping into new hope, new vision, new manifestations. We're stepping into a new creative and a new romantic direction. And this is where we fully reclaim back our power, divine feminine. So if you have been in a state of illusions, in a state of fear, or even emotional confusion, Venus, Neptune trine is going to dissolve the last remnants of that. We're done waiting, right? The feminine is all done waiting. We're just going to lead. We're going to lead with passion. We're going to lead with confidence. We're going to lead with that Sagittarian fire. And so I just feel like an ignition of a flame. There could be a risk that needs to be taken, a leap of faith, a bold truth coming to light. It's just ready to take that next step on the journey. And there's a timeline shift, I want to say, connected to faith an expansion. And so this weekend really does deliver a karmic completion. There's relationship truth bombs in the astrology. I feel there's an unexpected shift or revelation, and we're rising in our sense of self-worth, right? There's an ending of a major karmic cycle, and we are completing a numerological 9-year. And so we're kind of getting ready for the start of a brand new fire next year. But the feminine fully has to step into her power. She really has to embrace the next level of sovereignty and emotional and financial and physical empowerment. And that's when the masculine is going to feel that shift. And so we are being realigned to a higher timeline. And so I don't just feel this is like a regular weekend check-in. We are at a major pivot point. We are entering into the last chapter of 2025 after this weekend. And so the next chapter is about to burst open. And right now we've got a pivot, okay? So if you are curious about astrology and would like to learn a little bit more about your birth chart, comment free guide down below. I do have a free downloadable PDF guide to the basics of your birth chart. It's just a nice, easy tool to kind of learn how to follow along a little bit with the astrology portion of the readings. And please remember, today is the very last day to book in for 30% off all of my astrological sessions. This sale won't last, okay? And I do plan on phasing out astrological sessions come the new year. So this is the perfect opportunity to get that booked in. If you want that clarity, if you want to see what needs to be activated in your soul blueprint, or just a transit chart to say, hey, what's going on up in the sky? Why am I so deeply affected with these energies? Or if you are curious about a connection, is it twin flame? Is it karmic? Is it soulmate? I can give you the clarity. I can give you the answers that you need. And this 30% off ends at midnight tonight. All you have to do is enter coupon code retrograde, all in capital letters at checkout, and that will give you 30% off all of my astrological sessions. Let's dig in with the cards. Let's see what the cards have to say for this weekend. With Mercury stationing direct and Venus completing this major karmic severing of a tie, I just feel this whole reading definitely reflects that, especially the oracle cards. The oracle cards are definitely reflecting where the divine feminine is sitting at this weekend. We see self-mastery, we see rebirth, power, healing. There is a massive timeline shift happening this weekend, and I will break it down for you card by card, row by row. Self-mastery. I love it. It's a 27 card, and so there is that Ace of Wands energy here. It's connected to topaz, and the key word is spider. And so this shows a woman on a card holding a topaz crystal. We see the spider on her shirt. And I just want to say, Grand Weaver. We have a destiny weaver here coming through. We have a feminine here who knows she has created her own destiny. She's went through all the twists and turns. She's walked the path. And this is the feminine, I want to say, reclaiming her mastery, right? You've walked through the shadows, divine feminine. You have untangled all of the karmic webbing, and you've navigated your own underworld, right? And so this weekend, I feel really marks a moment where the feminine meets the inner master and it rises to the surface. I just feel a really big reminder of you being the weaver of your destiny. You are the source of your clarity, divine feminine, okay? What else do I want to say here? I just feel the answers you seek have always lived within you. So trust yourself, honor your truth. No longer look outside of yourself for validation, okay? There's something ending this weekend is what this feels like for me, or there could be something revealed, but this is a confirmation that you are stepping into self-mastery, initiation. So be patient. Be patient as this new identity and clarity and confidence is being birthed, because you are stepping into your personal power. We get the personal power card. I love the bear. I always think of a mama bear, 222 on the timer. It's a 20 card. It connects to the archetypal energies of judgment in the tarot. And it's connected to the crystal, chrysotile, okay? And so there's a revelation, there's a decision. I want to say there's a massive shift in consciousness here. We see the eagle. Eagles are usually found flying alone, and I just feel this is you reclaiming your truth, seeing the higher truth, stepping into the higher octave of your power this weekend. So you might feel a surge of courage. You might feel this deep desire to express your truth this weekend. The urge, I want to say too, to stop dimming yourself, stop dimming your light. There's this pull too, stop following the crowds. You're meant to pave the path, okay? There could also be clarity connected to a certain relationship dynamic here, but I feel you are becoming the version of yourself that you only used to dream about. This is the feminine rising for sure, okay? Then we go right into the rebirth. I love it. Is that like a Japanese maple? It might be. And it's a 21 card, so we do have the archetype of the world. This is completion. This is achievement. This is enlightenment. This is congratulations. You've learned the lesson. You've learned the lesson, okay? And it might not come full circle till the spring. It's connected to the spring. And the crystal is Shiva Lingham. There's a massive rebirth cycle taking place this weekend. It might not complete, like I said, till the spring of 2026. When we step into the year of the fire horse. We're still completing the year of the snake. So this weekend is a turning point connected to all of these old skins shedding. These old identities are dissolving, and all of these old emotional anchors are releasing. There's a massive release. And I just heard my Alexa go off, so that's interesting. This rebirth might very well feel uncomfortable because the feminine, I feel, is at a dead end in an old timeline where nothing is really moving, where nothing fits into the pieces anymore, and nothing really feels aligned. And so this is a cycle that you're not meant to stay in. You're meant to rise. And so trust in the fall, because after the fall, we rise, right? Trust in something that needs to be let go of. Trust in the void. Trust in the Phoenix moment. I feel a Phoenix moment. And the Phoenix card did come out in yesterday's reading. And the bottom of the deck, we get the healer card. It's a 14, so temperance, and it's connected to Pneumite. This is the card of the shaman, right? And then below that, we get the reflection, the 22 rhodonite. I love rhodonite. So we're still in the rebirth portal throughout the winter. So it's like there's the feminine in the cave, receiving all of the downloads, all of the light code activations, connecting with the upper world, bringing it down, grounding it into the lower world, connecting with the angels and the spirit guides at the crossroads. I feel stepping into the embodiment of the high priestess. But this really is the confirmation. Divine feminine. I always look at this card and I know that's like the crystal, Pneumite, floating in the galaxy. But at first glance, it reminds me of those like old school like flip phones. Remember the first like cell phones that were like little tiny flip phones? I always feel like this is the universe calling you. It's a calling, divine feminine. You are a healer. You have always been a healer. You will always be a healer. This lifetime, it's time to awaken all of these gifts that you have cultivated across all of your past life incarnations. You're here to do energy work, maybe connect to natural medicine, holistic medicine. Maybe you're here to be like a spiritual guide, a spiritual counselor, social work, doing social work. Body movement might be a part of your healing journey, intuitive healing, spiritual teaching. I feel this card is connected to spiritual teaching. So if you've been asking about your path, this is your sign. You are a healer. You are also the healer that you have been searching for, right? Your presence alone shifts the energy in a room. Your energy alone uplifts others. Your voice alone brings clarity to people in a state of confusion and delusion. And when Venus enters into Sagittarius, I feel your healing gifts are going to begin to expand beyond any former limitations. Okay, so let's talk about the 9-card spread, because I feel timeline by timeline, story by story, row by row, we're going to have to break this down. Okay, so the top row, we have a masculine offer here with the King of Pentacles, an offer of collaboration with the 3 of Pentacles, and a tangible union energy that is balanced, reciprocal, equanimitable, if that's even a word, with the 6 of Pentacles. So this is pure earth energy. This is physical manifestation. It's tangible progress. It's something that you can reach out and touch. This is real world movement. This is a divine masculine coming in that maybe has admired the feminine stability from afar. And we see the colors on the trees, the leaves changing color. So there's somebody wanting to come forward and plant a seed of collaboration this weekend with the feminine. This is a masculine, could be a Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. It doesn't have to be somebody with prominent earth, though, somebody somewhere in their chart, recognizing the divine feminine's mastery, seeing her successful, wanting to work with her, not against her. So this could be a collaboration. This could be a physical offer. This could be, I want to say, even a financial blessing. This could be a windfall or an inheritance being received. There's like this long awaited recognition here with this top row. And I feel there's like a karmic return. There's a karmic return on everything that you've generously given out. It's time to receive a return on your investment for sharing your talents, your gifts. Like the angels have been guiding you, and now you're coming into this state of balance. It's almost like you can feel the offer in your hands. There is a masculine here that feels inspired and grounded and ready to match a divine feminine's energy with reciprocity, balance, and equal giving and receiving. Okay, this is something tangible. Okay, let's talk about the middle row. The 4 of Swords, the Ace of Swords in reversed, and the 4 of Wands in reverse. So there is healing here. I want to say there is an old belief shifting, and there is a separation wound that needs to be cleared, right? There's the separation. So I just feel this whole middle row is telling me that we as a collective are healing from the old twin flame wounds, the old twin flame timelines, releasing the old outdated twin flame beliefs, and clearing any confusion. I feel these 2 cards together too are saying recovering from heartbreak, recovering from betrayal, and making peace with a separation. So this may involve a masculine coming back from a separation maybe 3 or 4 years ago. It doesn't have to be, maybe even 5 years ago. This very well could be a past life soul connection, or a masculine who has blocked communication or denied the truth. But I feel with this in reversed, I feel there's been blocked communication. There's been a lack of inspiration, but I feel the clarity is coming in connection to a separation after healing, or a truth that was denied is going to return. And then we align the mind with the higher self, right? So this whole middle row is saying there's like an introspective pause before a clarity, a breakthrough of clarity. And there's still some more inner healing that needs to be done before the offer in the top row can really be fully accepted. The bottom row, the Seven of Pentacles reversed, the Chariot upright, and then we had 2 extra cards, the Eight of Cups to the Two of Cups in reverse. So there's movement, there's empowerment, there's walking away. That creates the timeline shift. And so I feel these 2 cards, this is the feminine that she's not waiting. I'm not waiting for somebody from the past to come back for a commitment or a partnership or reconciliation. And then this releases the stagnant energy, the Chariot, right? This is the feminine finding the willpower to walk away from something that was stuck, stagnant, emotionally unfulfilling. I feel this row says the feminine is claiming back her independence and stepping onto the higher path with or without a reconciliation, right? With or without that. Walking away from the nostalgia of what coulda, shoulda been, right? And so this is like the feminine's victory moment, this bottom row. This is the feminine moving towards confidence, visibility, purpose, determination. This is really powerful. This is really, really powerful. This is the leaving behind any ideas of reconciliation, and that creates freedom, and which is also the paradox moment where the masculine wakes up. It's the timeline pivot, right? And so the paradox of the twin flame journey, when you don't want it anymore, it comes knocking on your door, right? So the second the feminine stops chasing external union, the union energy actually activates. And so it appears like there's a separation here, but there is actually a redirection happening this weekend, okay? And so the bottom of the deck, no more drama, no more competition, no more internal conflict. This is the feminine stopping competition, stopping comparing herself to others. She's all done fighting the old timelines. She's all done arguing with her internal intuition. And the feminine is the peace after the storm, right? Grounding in the peace. There's clarity after confusion. And there's acceptance after the struggle here, okay? So let's close it off with the final oracle messages with the Rose deck, the Rose Oracle deck. I love Rebecca Campbell's work. And so we get the Temple of the Rose. It speaks of ancient power, expression, activation, and scarlet codes. So this really is just a call to self-expression and that power reclamation with the personal power up here. So it's like every time you speak your truth, divine feminine, every time you honor your sensuality, every time you share your wisdom, every time you express your soul, every time you stand in your power, you heal the entire divine feminine lineage, okay? This weekend is the moment to ask yourself, divine feminine, where are you being called to call back your power? What truth truly needs to be expressed? And what part of you is actually ready to rise? Because this is the rise of the sisterhood of the rose. The bottom of the deck, we do get the healing, or the healing waters, the sacred waters. It speaks of nourishment, replenishment, health, rest, and self-care. And so there's deep healing happening this weekend. You're really not broken, divine feminine. So trust the process. It is safe to really soften and open up your heart. And so this weekend does feel like a rebirth, but birthing and rebirth requires nourishment, right? So the feminine is being asked to rest, to slow down, protect your energy too is another message here. Water your own roots, okay? Fill your own cup, okay? Because the next chapter of your life is going to require this fuel of self-care, and that fuel is owning your self-care, owning your softness, owning the presence in the moment. And so ask yourself what it is that you're truly yearning for, and how can you nourish that now, okay? Because this weekend is a massive crossroads moment for the divine feminine of self-mastery, personal power, rebirth, healing, okay? And there is a pivot in the connection. There is a new timeline opening. There is a masculine here feeling the shift, wanting to come forward, and the feminine is on the rise. And that's what I have for a message this weekend. If you would like to go further with me with a personal reading, like I said, check out the link below. I will be phasing out all my astrological sessions by the time we enter into 2026, and that 30% off sale ends tonight at midnight. If you would really like to dive deep into honoring your path through the knowledge of astrology, go check out my monthly astrology membership. It is a place of growth where we dig into different astrological aspects, applying it to our birth chart. It's a beautiful, soulful community. Head on over to the other side. I'd love to have you join me in the membership. Have a great weekend, everyone, and I will see you all again Monday morning.